Harley Davidson isn't just struggling, it's imploding. Right now, dealerships are choking $300 million worth of rotting metal, sales are in freefall, and the brand's legendary uproar has been reduced to a whimper. How did the king of American motorcycles become a dumpster fire? Grab a seat, everyone. This is Harley. Dealerships are desperate and slashing prices on these 7 models. Because of this, and you don't want to miss it. Why did dealerships slash these bikes' prices? I know y'all want to know some of the discounted bikes on the list, but before we talk about the 7 discounted bikes, let's first take a look at some of the possible reasons why these bikes are sitting in the dealerships. First, Harley's clinging to a dying past. Boomers nostalgic for rusty wrenches and grease-stained garages won't save them. Gen Z sees their bikes as outdated, overpriced relics. Second, Harley's getting slaughtered by the competition. Honda's Rebel 1100 sold 40,000 units in 2024 in the US alone. Harley barely moved 105,000 bikes across its entire lineup. One Honda model is eating 40% of Harley's lunch. Third, Harley's delusional pricing. In an economy where rent devours paychecks, charging $20,000 for a glorified lawnmower isn't just tone-deaf, it's suicidal. These 7 models, they're the rotting core of Harley's crisis. Overhyped, overpriced, and utterly unwanted. Let's rip off the bandage and count down the worst of the worst, starting with a bike so stripped down as stripped Harley of its dignity. At number 7, the Harley Davidson Softail Standard. This bike was supposed to be a back-to-basics cruiser, no frills, just pure V-twin muscle. But riders quickly realized basic meant barely functional. No passenger seat, no windshield. And on highways, brutal. The Softail Standard starts at $13,599, but add a windshield seat and saddlebags, and you're pushing $16,000. Meanwhile, Honda's Rebel 1010 offers cruise control, traction control, and dual seats, just for the measly price of $11,000. Dealers are now bundling $2,000 in free accessories just to clear inventory. But here's the question. When a Harley needs discounts to compete with Honda, did it ever stand a chance? The next bike on our list is the Harley Davidson Street Rod. Harley tried to blend cruiser DNA with sport bike aggression. The result? A bike that failed both crowds. The Street Rod's 749 cubic centimeter engine makes 68 horsepower, decent but not enough to outrun Yamaha's MT-07, which costs at least $2,000 less if you compare it to the Street Rod with all the trimmings. Riders called the ergonomics cramped, the build quality cheap, and the styling confused. Traditional Harley fans wanted soul. Sport bike riders wanted speed. The Street Rod delivered neither. Today, dealers are slashing prices below $8,000. But here's the kicker. Even at that price, used MT-07s still offer better value. The Harley Davidson Road Glide CVO is the next bike on our list. It stands as a glaring monument to corporate greed and tone-deaf engineering. Priced at a jaw-dropping $51,999, this so-called luxury touring bike is a masterclass in overpromising and under-delivering. While Harley hypes its Milwaukee 8 121 engine, a 1,983 cubic centimeter behemoth churning out 115 horsepower. But here's the truth. This engine is functionally identical to the one in Harley's standard touring bikes, which cost $23,000 less. The CVO's premium upgrades? A gimmicky 12.3-inch touchscreen, a Rockford Foosgate stereo, and flashy paint jobs. The CVO's depreciation is nothing short of catastrophic. Industry reports confirm these bikes lose 30% of their value within the first year, a $15,600 free fall the moment they leave the dealership. Compare that to the standard Road Glide Ultra, which retains value 50% better, and it's clear the CVO is a financial trap. Even Harley loyalists aren't biting. Forums are flooded with riders calling the CVO a scam and opting to retrofit base models with aftermarket upgrades for a fraction of the cost. A full Rockford Foosgate audio system? $1,200. Custom paint? $3,000. Harley charges $23,000 for the same package. The dealers are desperate to sell their units by including a $3,000 credit in accessories. But let's be blunt. No amount of financial sleight of hand can mask the CVO's fatal flaws. Harley's touring bike sales dropped 12% in 2023, with the overpriced CVO symbolizing a brand out of touch and selling luxury illusions over real value. At the fourth spot is the Harley Davidson Fat Bob 114. It is a textbook case of style over substance engineering, a bike that talks big on specs, but fails catastrophically in practice. Yes, its 1,870 cubic centimeter Milwaukee 8 engine pumps out 94 horsepower and 119 pound-feet of torque. But those numbers mask a harsh truth. This muscle cruiser is all bark, no bite. Riders quickly discovered its slam suspension and cartoonishly oversized tires turned city commutes into a punishing chore, while its forward-mounted foot controls force an awkward, back-breaking riding posture. Want to ride longer than an hour? Good luck. The Fat Bob's brutal ergonomics have been called medieval torture in rider forums. At $18,299, Harley's delusion is staggering. The Indian Scout Bobber, a direct competitor, offers a lighter frame, sharper handling, and a $15,999 price tag, outselling the Fat Bob by nearly 2-to-1 in 2023. Even Harley's own Softail Slim outperforms it at a lower cost. Dealers, desperate to unload inventory, now dangle free Vance and Hines exhaust upgrades, a $900 value. But no amount of aftermarket noise can drown out Fat Bob's flaws. Its chunky tires, while Instagram-ready, guzzle fuel and handle like cinder blocks in traffic. This is a bike engineered for parking lot posing, not actual riding, a $20,000 monument to Harley's obsession with aesthetics over innovation. In a market craving versatility, the Fat Bob 114 isn't just overpriced, it's irrelevant. The Harley Davidson Livewire was supposed to mark the brand's bold entry into the electric era, but instead it became a $30,000 misfire. Marketed as cutting edge, its impressive 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds couldn't make up for a dismal 70-mile highway range, less than half of what competitors like the Zero SRS offer for $10,000 less. Harley loyalists dismissed it as a silent betrayal of the brand's signature rumble, while EV enthusiasts scoffed at the outdated specs and premium pricing. Even after slashing the price to $22,000, used models now sell for under $15,000, hemorrhaging value in a saturated market. Worse, Harley's own dealers showed little faith in the product, tucking it in corners of showrooms and avoiding promotions altogether. The company also failed to back the bike with reliable charging infrastructure, leaving riders stranded while brands like Energica expanded fast-charging networks. The result? A motorcycle too limited for long rides, too niche for urban use, and effectively orphaned by its maker. The Livewire isn't just an underperformer, it's a $50 million case study in how not to launch an electric motorcycle. The Harley Davidson Nightster is the next discounted bike on the list. Its Revolution Max 975 engine, while smoother than past models, strips away Harley's signature rumble, leaving purists revolted by its anemic vacuum cleaner whine. Priced at $13,499, it targets Gen Z riders, a generation opting for affordability, yet Harley's own used Iron 883s sell for $7,000 less and retain more character. Even Honda's Rebel 500, $4,000 cheaper, outsold the Nightster 3-to-1 in 2023, thanks to its accessible pricing and modern tech. The Nightster's styling, a forgettable blend of watered-down retro and half-hearted modernity, too tame for Harley diehards, too derivative for the cafe racer crowd. Dealers, desperate to mask its irrelevance, dangle $1,500 discounts and free saddlebags. But no amount of bargains fix a bike that Consumer Reports labeled uninspired and outclassed. In a market craving authenticity, the Nightster's attempt to straddle eras only proves Harley's desperation, not innovation. Of course, we can't talk about Harley's discounted bikes without mentioning their Street 500 and 750 models. These bikes aren't just failures, they're a humiliating indictment of Harley's disconnect from reality. Marketed as starter bikes to attract new riders, these models instead became a laughingstock, riddled with compromises that alienated novices and veterans alike. The Street 750's anemic 47 horsepower Revolution X engine, a feeble, liquid-cooled departure from Harley's iconic air-cooled V-twins, struggles to outpace a scooter, let alone compete with Honda's Rebel 500, which matches its power at 20% less weight and $2,000 cheaper. The plasticky body panels, exposed wiring, and budget suspension scream cost-cutting. Yet Harley slapped on an $8,499 price tag, demanding premium money for a parts bin special. Even Harley's dealers rebelled, steering buyers toward used Dynas and Softails rather than pushing these underpowered novelties. Today, unsold street 750s rot in showrooms at fire sale prices under $6,000, a 30% depreciation in just 2 years. But the deeper issue? These bikes failed in their sole mission, recruiting new riders. Gen Z ignored them for affordable, reliable Japanese alternatives, while Harley loyalists dismissed them as fake Harleys. The Street Series 2021 discontinuation in the US only cemented its legacy as a $100 million blunder. When your entry-level bike drives customers away from your brand, it's not just a flop, it's a corporate suicide note. So what do you guys think about Harley's future? In my opinion, these deals seem like they're reeking of desperation, not discounts. A dying brand hawking relics to the clueless buyers. Harley's headed for the junkyard. So let me know about your thoughts on this bike. I'll catch you on the next one.